You got people mad. This is a big hose mad situation. Let's watch it.
How dare you take a lukewarm stance on this? You need to pick a side.
God, yes. That's exactly what I was saying, bro. See?
Listen to both sides. Most of the time, both sides are wrong. How the hell did this make it out of our company? So I'm not really sure what to think anymore. I managed to make everyone angry with what I did with ACS. Nobody's happy.
How did you do that?
He's not playing more of this game. That's all you need to know. A game that you didn't expect to finish is not okay. It's bad. It's fine. Proceeds to not finish it. Come on. The way you said it's fine is disappointed. Yep.
What did you do?
So I went into Assassin's Creed Shadows, as a lukewarm Assassin's Creed fan. And I went in specifically, I didn't do any sponsor streaming. Ubisoft has given up on me. They didn't even offer me a sponsor stream for it. And I went in for myself and I said, okay, I want to see if this game is enough for me as somebody who is relatively tired of the AC franchise. I want to see if there was enough in there to bring me back. Maybe it's going to be another Black Flag. Maybe it'll get me back into Assassin's Creed. So I played it for a stream and it was okay. And then the next day I started another stream of it, and about halfway through it, I felt like I was starting.
That's not what happened. He's lying. Here's what happened. He was playing the game. Everything was fine. Somebody asked him to open up the store page. He opens up the store page and he sees that a map hack is on the store page. After that, the vibe totally shifts. He randomly swims out to a ship. He climbs up to the top of the ship. He jumps down, kills himself, and quits the game. And he says, yep, guys, that's going to be about it. People are attacking Moist Critical, too, for not playing Shadows anymore because he said the game bored him.
You get the vibe of it. And I was starting to realize that I didn't think it was really going to have what I wanted. And I turned off Assassin's Creed and started playing Rise of the Ronin. Now, what I did was I made a thoughts video. I said in that thoughts video.
Well, that was your problem. How
here's
dare
the deal.
you have an opinion on
I was
the
like, here's the deal. I was like, the game is fine. It's not doing enough for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's got a few problems here and there. I ran into a few bugs. Game is fine, but it did not pull me back in. And there's a whole other discussion, like, can Ubisoft afford fine? But I was like, yeah, the game.
Nope. As a matter of fact, they can't.
Game's okay, game's fine, but it's not fine enough for me to want to play.
Sure.
I'm going to play Rise of the Ronin. I made a comment that I'd not really been following the controversy with the historical stuff, but like I didn't really care personally. That doesn't really affect me. So, whatever. I heard Ubi had made like maybe a claim about it, but I didn't really know too much. And I was like, okay.
This is what normal people do. Normal people don't know about the Wikipedia editing history of this like white guy cosplaying as a Japanese historian that's being like, we don't like, not everybody has like fucking 7 levels of arcane esoteric knowledge about the period in time between 1580 and 1600 in feudal Japan. All right. Like they're just like, oh, there's a black samurai. Oh, really? Okay, cool. That's it. That's fucking it. They're not going to know everything about this.
I'm going to move on and that's done.
Not everybody is a Redditor.
To make every side angry. The people that like Assassin's Creed were yelling at me for not giving it a good enough thing and being a hater. The other side was telling me, like, how dare you take a lukewarm stance on this? You need to pick a side.
Yeah.
It's not fine what Ubisoft is doing. This is garbage. And so they all got furious at me. Then there was a third group that was apparently, I said in the video. Like,
by the way, this is completely my fault that he's getting harassed. It's totally my fault. I reacted to the video. Everybody knows that I am the genesis of everything bad that happens in video games. So if I am even remotely around, it's my fault that it happened. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it.
Not really sure what's going on, but I heard about the historical controversy. One thing I didn't know about the historical controversy was apparently like Ubisoft really came out saying we're going to try to make this historically accurate. Yeah. So kind of like with the PoE devs we've talked about in the past, like sometimes say like you should have just not said that and just done your own thing, because then you set expectations.
Yeah,
like
true.
That's what happened there. And I definitely did not realize it was to that degree. I looked into it a little bit more after seeing some of the comments on the video, and yeah, Ubi probably shouldn't have said any of that. Like they
shouldn't have said it. If they had just said, like, we think this is a cool story, we're going to tell it our way, it would have been fine. True.
Kind of really shot themselves in the foot, like trying to do this historical angle, because all they did was set expectations
exactly
that they're not going to be able to meet, even with a canon mode. You're going to piss people off. So anyway, that's that. So with in one, by trying this game and then kind of like just being like, here's my honest opinion on it, I have made the entire internet angry.
It happens.
Here's the big thing, like, and people keep telling me, like, pick a side, right? Like.
It's a fucking video game. What? It's a fucking video game. What, you thinking about this? What is wrong with you, bro? Like, it's politics now, I guess. Everything is like this. You always gotta have a side. The thing is that, so, I think that you can't tell people that they shouldn't be allowed to care. And you also can't tell people that they have to care. The problem is when you take your values and you force them on another person. If it's just you deciding what you want to do, that's okay. But the moment that you start making rules for other people, well, now we got an issue. And that's what's going on.
Why are you being so diplomatic? All of this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand. I'm like one of the only streamers that didn't do a sponsored stream for it. Like they've already given up on me. I have no reason to appease anyone. I have no reason to pick a side. If I wanted to pick a side, I'd pick a side. But the point is that it is a fine game. It ran well. It's very pretty. Everything it was trying to do, it does. Like, you can't look at the game and not be like, it's running. Like, I played 10,000 plus games over my life. There's some really shitty games out there. Like, broken design, does not work. Maybe it's just too long. Maybe, you know, like there's thousands of reasons that games are just not good. And the time I played this, I didn't really run into anything that makes me go, this is a bad game, outside of a few bugs, of course. I just didn't really run into anything that was like, I need to keep playing this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, people who are just like totally jumping on me for saying the game is fine. It's like,
People got mad at me too. They got mad whenever I said it was a 6. I thought it was like, okay, like I'm enjoying it, like it's fine. Like that tweet, like, let me see how I show you all this real quick. I'll pull it up. Fuck. It's not. Damn it. I really can't see it here. Damn, I can't show you guys. Well, anyway, the video of me playing Assassin's Creed had something like, I'm trying to even think. It had something like 4 or 5 million views. Like, and these are just people that are talking about the fact that this, yeah, it's nuts. People were going crazy about the fact that I said it was okay.
Understand when you see a game like this, you know, there's probably thousands of people who made it possible, from level designers, artists, sound engineers, musicians, all these people. Like, I would argue most of them did a fine job with this game. Like, of course, there's some decisions at the top and monetization and all sorts of problems, and
that
we could get into. But it's really weird to me how much people want others to not pass on the game, but to actively hate the game.
Sure, yeah.
Like, they're not happy unless you feel negatively about everything the product is.
Reason why is that, no, it makes sense. The reason why is because, like, if there's enough people that hate it and people are vicious enough, then there's going to be a lower probability that a game developer will do something like this in the future. Like, that's the logic. I don't think this is like a good way of doing things, but that is, like, that's what they're thinking.
Not just a part of it, not a specific thing. They don't want to have a discussion about what can be better. They just want you to feel the way they do, and that's their goal. Yeah. And that's unfortunate, man.
Yeah,
that's
that's the state.
This is coming from somebody who didn't even who put the game down. And I'm still just like, it's unfortunate that we can't, like, vocally talk about why we don't like it instead of just vocally hate it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would make things.
Well, you can't have conversations honestly about different video games anymore, because everything is based off of some pre-decided battle line that is created by media, basically. And so that's really what the issue is.
so much in a better direction, because this isn't it, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's just
it's unstoppable force meets a movable object. The older I get, the more I realize how insanely important it is to listen to both sides and come up with your own opinion. And the more you do that, the more you realize that most of the time, both sides are wrong.
Yeah, some people are super
most of the
extreme.
time, both sides have like some major fundamental issues in some degree that you may agree or not agree with. And you don't want to like wholesale out on each one of them. Like there's so much more nuance than people.
No, this is the problem. Is like, and this is with everything. It's like if you deviate even slightly from like what the accepted thinking is with like a different like group of people, they will. It's basically like you might as well just be totally against them. Like, you can 95% agree with them, and that's not enough.
Credit for. And it's really unfortunate how many people want to stomp that nuance out.
It's exhausting nowadays. Just talking about not just games, but anything. Like, you have to be vehemently for it or vehemently hating it. There's no room for anything in the middle. Everything from politics to food to movies.
Like AI. Think about how many people are tweeting about AI right now, having opinions about AI.
That just like there's no middle anymore. Everyone's sensationalism. They want to like you to either rave about a game or just trash it down. No walk in the middle of the road. No like slightly liking something. No like saying something not for you. You just have to like be passionate about it because they want that like that dopamine hit.
Well, they want to know that they're right. That's the thing, is that people don't want to hear. They don't want to hear a balanced perspective. They want to hear their perspective said by somebody else. They want to be like, exactly. True. They never want to be challenged. That's just how it is with everything. And I think like really, I mean, that it's a struggle for me because like I know that like, for example, like when I rate a game and I play a game, I know that people are going to go into it and have an opinion or like want me to have a certain opinion about the game, right? And there are some games that I like more and some games that I like less. And that now to me, I don't really focus on it a whole lot. But it is definitely in the back of my mind, for sure. The new Monster Hunter to the story? Yeah, they want confirmation bias. Exactly.
Well, like getting them either angry or super excited.
Or agreeing with them or reinforcing their opinion. Being like, oh, yeah, I am right in how I feel about this. And the worst part is the discussion, all of the really interesting stuff, all the stuff that could make these games better, all of that takes place in the middle when those sides are talking to each other. Like that's where the discussion is. The discussion doesn't happen with each side yelling at each other from their side. It happens when people come together and are like, okay, I understand you don't like it. Why don't you like it? Well, I like it because of this. You don't like it because of that. Let's talk about how we can get better. What can change? You know, like, so they're shooting themselves in the foot by doing that.
Like, people go and say that it was like racist to like not like the game, or like people that weren't liking it or were liking it were like woke or anti-woke or something like this. Like it's just how do you get that far? How do you get that far down into the rabbit hole and not realize that you lost your fucking mind? It's exhausting, bro. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I know that I have a lot of those people in like my audience whenever I talk about games, and I think that's just like really, I mean, the truth is, like, I'm one of the most popular channels that talks about games. And so, like, because of that, you're going to have a lot of those people that come into your channel that want to talk about it. That being said, though, you know, usually I'm not super extreme, right? There's, like, a few exceptions. Like, Star Wars Outlaws, I really hated that game. But, like, most of the time, I usually am not as crazy extreme as many other people do.
We're just gonna keep doing this cycle. Like, it sucks. Sucks. Hate it.
And also, like, somebody else did they get banned everywhere else, so they're coming to my stream? Exactly. Because like I don't ban people as much for like having like different opinions. Like I will sometimes if they're being rude or obnoxious, or I just don't want to hear it. But like in a general sense, I don't really ban people for disagreeing a whole lot. And so or like having an opinion I don't necessarily agree with. And that what that causes is that a lot of those people end up going to my platform. Right? They come to me. Except GameCube purists. Well, he thought it was not in the top. It was not even a top 10 best consoles of all time. The guy was a fucking retard.
There is almost like this game can be fit into the same box that like Call of Duty is. There's like a huge group of people that just buy it because they want that experience, and then they'll never engage in everything we were just talking about.
I'm the exact same way with Yakuza. Like some you know, there's and it's interesting because like this has brought up a whole side of like when is it not okay for a game this expensive with this many resources to be okay for a lot of people, and that is like the other side of the argument.
The financial department
like about Borderlands. where it's like if they were to change too much Borderlands, people would stop playing it. And there's also people about Assassin's Creed that are raving about this game being exactly how it is. So it's like, you know, for someone like me,
the thing is though, is like a lot of the people that are talking about it being good and the people that are talking about it being bad, there's one thing that they have in common. They didn't play it. That's the problem. Is that a lot of the people that talk about how good or bad these games are didn't play them.
It's going, this is not enough at all. You know, what about the other side where it's like people are like, yeah, but don't change it any more than it is. It's like, where do we go from there?
Yeah.
I've always wished they would just do a modern day Assassin's Creed with no Animus, just like to try it out to see like if you're fighting the Templars, but in modern day city with modern day tech and stuff.
I think that was Watch Dogs.
Yeah, Watch Dogs might have been.
I think that was their test.
Might have been that test, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I never played this.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take the wind out of your sails there. Because I agree. I think that like having like an actual modern day AC would be cool, but
it's like
it'd be interesting to see if we ever get there.
Yeah,
I wonder if they
I
would
had the
do
same
that.
exact thought. Like, what would that even look like? Would they just use?
You'd have to
guns,
use tech,
or
yeah.
would
You'd
it
have
be
to
tech
like,
related, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Like you couldn't just ignore that stuff in that day and age, right? So post-apocalyptic AC. See, that way you could go like past all the gadgets. There's been a big,
exactly. That'd be a cool idea. That's actually a cool idea.
Nukes go off, Apple is used, and then like it's super futuristic, but takes place in like a dystopian world. So you can't use guns and stuff because all the bullets have already been shot. They're not making more.
Yeah.
Got to use melee weapons and stuff, but it's all futuristic and sci-fi.
That would be cool.
Numbers are, I think, they said something along the lines of bigger than Odyssey and Origins. They didn't mention Valhalla. I think Valhalla was
Bro, this game had more likes on its tweets than it probably had people buying the game. All those like tweets about how like Mark Kern and Elon Musk are dumb, probably more people liking those tweets than bought it. Because like they say players, they're not talking about buyers. There's players. And so really, if you think that the problem is people that play a game don't play them, isn't it enough to watch the needed content to make your opinion? Watching content and making an opinion on the content, you want to know the truth? I bet a lot of these people didn't even really watch it. I bet they hardly even watched the game. They probably watched it for like 10 or 20 minutes. They went into it with an opinion. Like how many people here, let me ask you a question. How many people who you think watched the content went into it with one expectation and changed their mind? I know the answer to that. 0. So anybody who watches for like a very limited period of time and then they immediately fucking change their mind, no, it doesn't happen. None of them, right? And so like, I think people just already make up their mind with all these games. They do that constantly.
It's on the way to be the biggest Assassin's Creed release.
Okay, got it.
Here's the important thing that we need to understand, though, that everyone needs to understand. Nobody who says any of that has any idea what a success looks like to Ubisoft.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, like, it does.
Well, I know what it looks like to Tencent. I don't think that was it. I don't think that was it. Yeah, I think they missed the mark a little bit. They stopped talking about numbers. Have you noticed? Yeah, I did notice. They stopped talking about numbers. I wonder why. It's probably because they got so high. There's so many people playing the game that they just can't count that high. I think that's probably what happened.
How much Ubisoft says
it's so big it failed.
Nothing.
Yeah.
What's on the Steam chart means absolutely nothing. What matters is what Ubisoft has told their investors and how much the delta is between the actual and that.
Exactly.
It's all that matters.
He's right.
And no one knows that. So
not yet.
Anyone who's shouting like, "Oh, look at this, Ubisoft's gonna die," or "Oh, look at this, they're totally fine." None of them know what they're talking about.
I mean, I will tell you, like, I mean, bro, like, I don't know when this came out, but like, if you have, you know, this parent company and they're transferring IP ownership to this other subsidiary company, and like, I mean, this does not look good, right? And also, like, if the stock isn't going up, that means that the investors probably didn't get what was promised. Because, like, if they got what was promised and what was expected to be good, then the stock would have gone up. So, that's it.
So, like, we don't even know what 2 million players means.
Yeah.
It didn't say 2 million sales. So it's like, we don't, like, everything is obfuscated right now.
Yeah,
we all
of
just kind
course.
of got to sit tight. It's probably going to take at least a couple weeks or even a couple months until we hear anything from Ubi, actually, if this is okay or not okay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They're not going to come out and say, yeah, guys, we fucked up. They never did that with Star Wars Outlaws either. They're never going to go out and say it, but everybody knows what it is. Tencent's going to make Black Myth Shadows. They got to take, what they should do is that, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like there's just so many different, like, I never played any Assassin's Creed games, honestly, so I don't even know, like, all the premises that they've used before. But, like, there's so many options that you can go with. Like, I'm really looking forward to going back and playing a lot of those games, but I only have so much time in a day to do it. What was the last good Ubisoft game? I mean, I would say, like, the Lost Crown, the Prince of Persia game that was new was pretty good, right? But other than that, I'm not sure.
Someone's bringing up a really good point in chat. It's like sales could mean nothing if the microtransactions sell well enough. And,
totally,
and that's absolutely a reality, 100%. Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's, you know, again, none of the public information now matters to any argument.
Yeah,
if you look into it.
Yeah, the Ark DLC trailer is apparently entirely made through generative AI. I guess
this is getting weird. Okay. Have you heard the stuff from this?
No, I'm reading the headline now, so please tell me.
So, apparently the devs are saying
this is about something else. But yeah, this trailer was garbage. But anyway, I'll stop it there. I'll say this, right? Is like a lot of these games and like the all of these like internet dramas with like you know, something like Assassin's Creed or whatever. There's always people that have an agenda, and they care primarily about pushing the agenda, and not about actually thinking about what the game is and having any sort of like thought about the game. They're just trying to say the thing that they already agree with. Every time. Yeah, every fucking time this happens with Veilguard. It happened with Black Myth Wukong. Like, people try to figure out ways that Veilguard is bad and try to figure out ways that Black Myth Wukong is bad. And it depends on what your opinion is. There is, by the way, there's the video. Give it a like. I totally agree with Ko on this. I really do. Like, this shit is so fucking exhausting. But yeah, it's disrespectful to the developers and artists. Maybe, right? It's an ideology battle. Yeah, it is. And some people be like, yeah, no, that's it. Ko's a good dude. Yeah, no, I like Ko Carnage a lot. I mean, I think that's like, you know, pretty well established. And who's to blame for all of it? I think people are, right? I mean, like, to me, I feel like I think everybody knows this, but I'll say it anyway. I am the most fair and balanced person that does video game commentary, right? Because like I'm the only the thing, and everybody, we know this. But there's some people that don't. And the reason why is because, like, basically I have a lot of people that watch the show. And so I don't need to worry about making a group of people mad, because that group of people is always going to be smaller than my audience. And so the fact is that every time that I'll bring out videos of like games, and people won't like about what I'm saying about a game for whatever reason. And there's a lot of people, I'm going to tell you the truth. A lot of people don't want to come out with a hardline stance and what they think about something, because like this person gets like, let's say 1,000 viewers, right? Like some streamer gets like 500 viewers. Like if they get a bunch of hate in their community, that, like, imagine like there's a bunch of negative people, like people come into my stream every day that have like, you know, some kind of shit to talk, right? And they do that, then what's going to happen? Well, they're going to be like overwhelmed with this kind of stuff. So that's why, for example, that's why I try to stick up for people that are like getting unfairly treated and that are getting like hate mobbed by the internet, is because I know that, like, for me, I can do that. And like, it doesn't matter, because like I can tank any, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, okay, wow, somebody is mad at me on the internet. Who cares? But like, the problem is a lot of other people can't do that. And why is that, right? Some people don't want to deal with the stress. Other people don't want to deal with the pressure. Other people just don't really care that much. And there's a lot of different reasons, right? Hate mobs suck. Yeah, they do. And so that's why in a lot of cases, you guys might notice this, is that whenever any of my friends like has any sort of drama, I'll usually say something that's worse than what they said. That way everybody gets mad at me instead, because I know that I can tank the pressure. I know I can take the heat. It's fine. But for them, they can't do it, like, or they don't want to do it for whatever reason. So yeah, that's it, main tank. Yeah, and so that's it. Why are you still talking about this game? If you think we're talking about this game, you're not even. You didn't pay attention. You didn't watch. And so yeah, that's it. Whenever you try to defend someone or an idea, you always get hate. No, it does. And so Do you think you'd have more hair if you didn't take this on? No, not really, not at all. And so that's what happens. Read first comment, so accurate. No, people that don't want to hear your opinion, they want to hear their opinion out of your mouth. Yeah, that's fucking accurate, extremely fucking accurate. And so yeah, that's what I think happens. Is so like they don't want a valid perspective, they want their perspective validated. Yeah, your chat's full of those haters. Your channel's about reacting to drama. Your audience must have no life issues. They care about these things. I think, like, I mean, you have a lot of people in the community that have, like, different opinions about fucking everything. But, like, the point that I'm making, like, when Nick took the Harris sponsor and he posted a Taco Bell receipt from 2008. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Like, I posted that receipt from 2008 about, like, what's Kamala Harris going to do to give me $2 chicken baskets again. Like, I posted that so people would hate on me instead of Nick. And I did the same thing with Saudi Arabia whenever Miz was getting a bunch of hate for wanting to go to Saudi Arabia. Whenever I just went on my stream, I said, yeah, I'd go to Saudi Arabia for fucking free. I got no problem with sports washing. I think it's great. I did that so everybody would get mad and hate me and not him. And, like, Emmy, too. And so, like, yeah, because I know it won't bother me. It won't affect me. Like, I don't give a fuck. None of my audience cares. Like, the only people that care about it are losers. And so, like, really, it's better for me. And I'm sure there's other examples for that, too. And, yeah, like, even with Rich, like, nobody else came out and said anything about that. That was me. I came out. I made the statement. I said everything about it. Nobody else said a fucking thing. And so that way, all of the pressure and all of the focus was on me. And so I have no problem doing that, by the way. Like, that's okay, because, like, I know I can do it. And so if I like, basically, if I don't do it, then it's not going to happen. And so, like, that's really, it's the same thing with, like, the Starforge, like, about the, you know, like, some of those, the prices at the beginning. Like, I was the one that came out and I talked about that. And I'll talk about all that stuff, right? And so, that's really it. Your friends don't have the Howard Stern hate watcher population. You do and thrive on it. Well, I don't have that many hate watchers. I mean, I do, but, like, a lot of them don't actually actively watch. They're just, like, you know, on Twitter getting mad. So to me, like, that's how I see about it. Most people are not free enough to risk it all. Well, the difference is that I'm not free to risk it all either. I'm not risking it at anything. Like, everybody on the internet gets mad at me. It doesn't matter. The next day, everything's the same. Who cares? Like, I've had so many controversy. Like, my average week of controversy is what it's like for that's like the worst week of a person's life. Like, an average content creator's life. Like, my average week is worse than that. And that's it. It's just another Monday, right? That's it. And so hate watchers on Twitter taking shit out of context. Yeah, exactly. And 2 days since last controversy. And what do you risk? You don't have anything? Yeah, sure, no doubt. And blood pressure is not healthy. Less time. Yeah, I know. I needed to. I was actually glad. I actually exercised a little bit yesterday. I walked like maybe 2 miles or so. And I was glad because I hadn't exercised for a bit. And I'm probably going to do that again more today. I need to get back into that because I've just been lazy and I've just been a piece of shit, honestly. Like, that's the reason. Like, it's not like, oh, I've been busy. Yeah, I've been busy, but I've also been, you really can't take 30 minutes. Of course you can take 30 minutes. But my point is that, like, I will always tank the hate for anything. And that to me is something I prefer doing because I know that, like, I've seen how it affects other people. And, like, I see it, like, behind closed doors. A lot of people are not meant to deal with, like, the amount of pressure and stress that, like, streaming and, like, the level of criticism that you get. They're not able to deal with that. And so, like, that's why anytime there's any drama or anything like that, I usually try to take ownership of it so I can get away from it, or get it away from other people.